First, you do not succeed, try again. And I'm saying that to our microphones because this is the second time we're attempting this video today. However, last week we also tried filming the Sonata Hybrid and it did not work out. Maybe it's for a reason, maybe not, but you guys, I want to share with you everything you need to know about this specific trim line. Now, for the 2026 model year, we have reintroduced the hybrid powertrain in the Sonata lineup. This again is not the first time the Sonata has been a hybrid, but it's the first time for this generation. And I gotta be honest, this is my favorite gen of the Sonata ever. So we're gonna go over a full in-depth walkthrough. I'm gonna start off with the exterior, talk about the paint, the powertrain, the efficiency, and then of course the overall styling and safety. Then we'll hop on the inside and talk about the comfort functions, the space, and of course the layout. Now, let me show you guys the paint first. This is by far my favorite color across the Hyundai lineup. It's called Transmission Blue, and it definitely looks gray on camera. However, there is a little bit of blue hue throughout. Let me know what you guys think and how it's picking up on YouTube, but absolutely stunning. One thing I think Hyundai did a fantastic job on for this generation Sonata, and more specifically the hybrid, is keeping up with both the chrome or satin chrome accents as well as the piano black or gloss black. It creates a nice contrast that no matter what exterior paint color you choose, it stands out and it looks very premium and also very sporty, something you don't necessarily always get on a hybrid powertrain. The price point is 36,199 Canadian, and we have, oh, sorry, where was it last? And we have only a front-wheel drive option for the Sonata Hybrid. Now, I know the Sonata does have an all-wheel drive option for the straight gas model. Unfortunately, it did not make sense to put on the hybrid variation. The main reason for that is, I'm going to assume fuel efficiency. This vehicle is rated at 5 liters per 100 kilometers combined, so that is, of course, highway and city driving. That is very, very good, especially considering this is quite a large vehicle, larger than, of course, the Elantra, and it's very close to the Elantra hybrid in its consumption. Now, Adam's going to take over on the camera and we are going to talk about our front end and its styling as well as our safety functions. So for the Sonata, I can't start without our daytime running lamps. They're full LEDs and they expand all the way across the front end of our vehicle, and then the main headlamps themselves are also LEDs. Now, LEDs, of course, look modern. Every new car just about has them, but they also last a whole lot longer too. So in terms of replacing them, you're not gonna have to look at that for a while. They're gonna burn more efficiently and of course, brighter too. Our marker lights are just our regular orange lamps, and then along the bottom of the vehicle, you'll see we have quite a bit of black for our accents, and then our satin chrome pieces housing throughout our lower grille. This main bar across is finished in a gloss black, and then right below we have a rectangular radar plate for our smart cruise control. Now, the smart cruise control is an adaptive style, so if you do start to enter stop and go traffic, the vehicle will slow you down all the way up to a complete stop and then bring you right back up to speed if traffic starts moving again. You can choose between 4 preset levels of following distance, and the vehicle, again, will do it all for you. Set your speed, set your following distance, the car does the rest. You can also combine that with lane keeping and lane following assistance, all done by the cameras in the very center of your windscreen. So as you're driving and the vehicle detects the lanes ahead of you, it'll start to make slight steering adjustments to keep you centered in your lane, provided, of course, the road is also changing. Now, if I were to start departing from my lane or I go to lane change without signaling, it will beep at me and give some gentle correction, both of which can be turned off if you're not a fan of it. However, the lane following assistance combined with the smart cruise control, it's a little bit of a, I don't want to say self-drive, but it's pretty darn close, in my opinion at least. Powertrain is the next big important part on the hybrid variation of the Sonata. So we have a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. It does utilize gasoline direct injection. And as far as our, oh, I think this happened last time I tried filming the Sonata Hybrid too. It's got a weird, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna be able to get it, am I? And it's wet too, we just washed the car. Thank you, Adam. All right, 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. It is a gasoline direct injection engine. And then for our electric motor, it is a 39 kilowatt electric motor, supplying 51 horsepower all on its own. Our total combined output is about 191 horse with 151 pound-feet of torque. As far as our battery capacity, and of course this is not your 12-volt battery, it is our high voltage battery. It is a 1.62 kilowatt hour lithium ion polymer battery. Now, unlike a plug-in hybrid, this vehicle does not require to be plugged into the wall or public charging station to charge. All of the charging is done by the vehicle running or by regenerative braking. So when our gasoline engine runs, it can charge our high voltage battery, and later on, of course, we can use that to keep our vehicle at an idle in EV mode or at slow speeds in EV mode. Same is true when you're slowing down, coasting, or braking with your vehicle. Instead of actually using your friction brakes that we're all so familiar with, it'll use its electric motor to essentially change its function and draw energy back into your battery pack that you can later on use. So that resistance, that slowing down, is later on transferred as energy instead of wasted heat like on a typical gas car. Speaking of braking, let's talk about our wheel setup. So the hybrid exclusively has these 17-inch alloys. They have a beautiful two-tone finish with some machined elements. The rest of the aero blade is almost a gunmetal. It might look black on camera, but it's a dark, dark gray. Center Hyundai cap, and then the tire size is a 215/55 R17, so that's a fair bit of sidewall. Very comfortable drive and also a very quiet drive. I find with our Hyundai sedans in the hybrid variations, so Elantra and Sonata, we can really extend the amount of time we spend in EV mode as long as you're not too heavy on the throttle. So if I'm coasting, just cruising through stop and go traffic or from red light to red light, I can stretch a lot of that time in electric mode and not use gas, where a regular gas vehicle would be pretty inefficient at that point. Our brakes up at the front are of course going to be larger, and then we have ventilated disc brakes as well as solid discs in the rear. For our side markers, instead of being placed on the mirror, they're on our fender. And you also have a good amount of gloss black surrounds to kind of enhance that contrast. The mirror is two-tone with the gloss black frame and then our body color top, and that frame repeats surrounding the reflective portion. Our front windows, as well as our windshield, are acoustic glass. So that is, of course, going to be a sound deadening glass material. So as far as wind and road noise go, you do have a little bit more enhancements to block that out. However, how loud your cabin is, that really depends on who you're driving around. Your pillars are gloss, and then our belt line and upper lines of our windows are finished in satin chrome, just like what we saw on the front end. For our passenger side door, you can see we have our proximity entry button. So that small black button is also repeated on the driver's side door. Essentially, as long as the key is somewhere on you, you simply walk up to it, press the button, it unlocks the car for you, and then when you're done driving, press it again to lock it. So handy to have. I feel like it's a feature that doesn't often get talked about enough, but so great. Throw your key in your bag, throw it in your pocket, and never look for it again. Just hope it's on you. The side skirts of the vehicle are finished in gloss black, and that actually flows directly to the front lip of the car and then all the way into the diffuser of the rear. So as you completely walk around this vehicle, you'll notice the lines are seamless, it's smooth. It's truly a streamliner sedan in my opinion. I really do love the shoulders and the curves of the car too. It just looks so sporty. And of course, in this case, as a hybrid, aerodynamic and sporty at the same time. So it's a good looking car. They did a fantastic job keeping it good looking, but also efficient. Our rear lip is gloss black. You got a little bit of finning along our outer portions. It's repeated, of course, on the passenger side. And then the tail lamps themselves are full LEDs with a beautiful, beautiful light bar. Our reverse lights will be integrated here as well. And I just think they did such an amazing job with the back end of this car. This is by far my favorite angle of the vehicle. The Sonata badging is boldly spaced out and in a low profile finish. It's very modern, while your Hyundai badge actually sits beneath the glass. There's a small hybrid emblem alongside the passenger side of the rear. And that's really the only indication on this vehicle that it's a hybrid, other than, of course, the wheels being exclusive to this trim level or popping the hood and looking at your powertrain, because everything else looks very, very sporty Sonata. Cargo space. So as far as our cargo space goes, or at least behind our rear seats, we have about 477 liters. It is a fairly spacious cabin. The only part that I guess is kind of a downside with sedans is usually there's a good amount of space. It's the opening that's tough. So it is going to feel a little bit shorter than, of course, your typical SUV, but there is a ton of room between the end and the beginning of our rear cargo area. Underneath the floorboard is typically where you'll find your mobility kit, but as you can see, there is space for a spare should you choose to put one here. However, the vehicle does come with the mobility kit standard. It's just kind of pushed over towards the beginnings of our cargo floor. A couple more safety functions I want to mention on this car. We do have rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist. So essentially, if I'm backing this vehicle out of a parking lot and it's, very busy, there's cars constantly passing by or other pedestrians walking by, the vehicle will warn me and can apply brake force to avoid a collision with said pedestrian or said vehicle. We also have blind spot detection. So many people have seen this in vehicles as they're driving past. Essentially, that small icon on the mirror will illuminate when there's a car in my blind spots, as well as a pedestrian or a cyclist. And then it'll also apply brake force to avoid a collision with them if it senses the risk. Your fuel tank is a 50-liter tank on the hybrid only. So that is 10 liters smaller than the Inline and the regular gas version of the Sonata. And then, of course, our fuel efficiency is about 5 liters per 100 kilometers combined, with the vehicle being slightly more efficient, of course, on the highway. I believe it's rated at 4.6 on the highway. All right, so Adam will take you guys on a tour of the inside while I give you a bit of a breakdown of what we can see here. So the Sonata Hybrid comes with 2 interior color options. Today we have the white beige, or the grayish, whatever you'd like to call it. It is absolutely luxurious, this white paint. It definitely opens up the interior a little bit, creating a bit more of an airy, light feel. The paneling on our dash, instead of a dark, dark finish, changes to almost a birch-like wood. And then, of course, our seating material, the leatherette, is that grayish material. It's definitely a bit more of a cream white, in my opinion. Now, as far as comfort goes, the Sonata Hybrid has a memory driver's seat, which is extremely handy, and plenty of controls to said seat. So, of course, we have our height adjustment, our backrest, as well as our lumbar supports. The passenger seat is also heated and ventilated while being powered controlled too. It's not a memory passenger seat, but if you keep the same passenger, keep them in your life, then they won't have to adjust it anyway. Along our door card, I just want to point out our handles are silver painted. Here are your memory seat saves, as well as our upper speaker. Just a regular sound system in the hybrid variation, but I think it's still quite good. You have your mirror controls, your door unlocks, and then our express driver passenger front windows and regular powered windows for the rear. This arm pad here, or armrest for your door card, is a soft leatherette material in that grayish finish. By my driver's knee, we have our brightness adjustment, our 12-volt battery reset, as well as our traction control, our lift gate for our trunk, and then our electronic parking brake. Like most of our vehicles, our hood release is right over here, and then that's it. I wanted to grab the keys to show you guys, but I don't know where the keys are.
It's to your right.
Oh, I'm sitting on them. Let me show you guys the key. So we have our Hyundai Smart Key, which is essentially a proximity key. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, as long as this is on me, I can walk up to my car, press the button on the door handle to allow me access inside. And because it's a push to start, foot on the brake, foot on the start button, the vehicle starts right up as long as the key is in the cabin. You've got your lock button up at the top, your unlock button just below, remote start, as well as your panic button for your horn and your lights. On this side, we have a button release for our trunk. Now, all of this, of course, is within the key fob. So if your vehicle, you do have Blue Link, and that allows you to start your car, warm it up in advance. If you do run out of subscription on that, it's free for 3 years and you don't want to pay for it, you will still always have remote start built onto the key fob. So that is quite nice. All right, Adam, do you want to join me on the passenger side? Gonna wake the car up again. Here we have our power seat controls for the passenger. So you have your backrest adjustment, and then the height and the tilt of the passenger seat. Both front seats are heated and ventilated, with, of course, the driver's seat also having that memory function. Adam, come on in. We'll talk about the steering wheel first. I'll grab the camera from you. All right, now steering wheel, very wide design, extremely soft leather finish. It is heated with 2 different levels, and we do have paddle shifters mounted on the rear. These paddle shifters can adjust the level of regen for your regen braking if you'd like it to be a little stronger or a bit lighter or completely off. It is also a tri-spoke wheel. I think it just looks beautiful in my opinion. Simple, easy to drive with, and complements the rest of the cabin quite nicely. The left-hand side is for your vehicle assistance or driver's assistance. So we have our smart cruise control, speed adjustment here, following adjustment there, and then we have our viewpoints. So we can cycle between what's displayed on our gauge cluster, and this gauge will always show your speedometer and your tachometer, with the middle portion being what you can choose to change. And again, from that button there. The right-hand side is for your media, so that'll be volume controls as well as voice commands and phone. And then we have our light stock on the rear, on the left side, and then our wiper stock on the right-hand side, just mounted below or behind our steering wheel. Also mounted on our steering column is our gear shift. So this is a shift by wire, allowing you to tip forwards for drive, backwards for reverse, and the button at the end for park. Behind that is our push to start ignition and our 12.3-inch CCNC display. Now, this display will allow you to have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and exclusive to the hybrid powertrain, we also have a hybrid menu. This shows you what your vehicle is currently operating off of, whether it's power from our electric motor, power supplied by the battery, driving your electric motor, which of course drives your wheels, or if you're using more so a combination of the engine and battery power together. This is a live menu, so as you drive, it will adjust based off where your vehicle is currently drawing or sending power to. I just saw someone say it's a beautiful car, and it absolutely is. This is such a sleek car. I love the fit and finish, both on the exterior and the interior. Underneath that, we have our vents expanding all the way across the dash, and then we have some physical buttons for our media. So of course, home, map, search, allowing you to quickly jumpstart you into any of those menus that are found within our touchscreen here. And below that, we have our climate control. So this is a dual zone climate vehicle, meaning the driver can set their temp, passenger can set the other, and of course you can sync them up, or you can simply do driver only. That way it's just a little bit more efficient if you're commuting to work and no one else is in the car with you. I'm gonna shut the car off real quick. Underneath that, we have 2 USB-Cs, the one on the left for data connectivity and charging, the one on the right simply for charging. There's also a fairly wide space over here, perfect to drop a phone in that could be charging, or for some sort of, I don't know, you could do a Zen garden, whatever you really want over there. Up at the top, we have a beautiful panoramic sunroof, and of course, a nice bright headliner too, making that cabin feel extra spacey and bright. When you have your sunroof open, that even doubles down. Very spacey, very bright. It's infinite headroom. It's pretty good. For our interior lights, they are LEDs, so you can summon them on one by clicking the light individually. Or of course, we have our all lights button, our when the car is off or the doors are open button, then our roadside assistance, and our SOS button. I think that's about it for what I want to cover up at the front other than our drive mode, so let me show you guys that real quick. Our drive mode select is located right over here, and you can just press it down to cycle you between eco mode, sport, and the customizable My Drive. Below that, we can quickly turn on or off our auto hold braking and then view our parking camera. Now, you can only view your parking camera if you are stopped or under 10 kilometers per hour. Every time you throw the vehicle in reverse, your backup camera will always display automatically, so you don't have to worry about pressing that each time. It's only if you want to, maybe eat lunch in your car while watching what's happening behind you. That's what I would use it for. Anyway, let's check out the back seats and then we'll answer your questions. I don't know if I mentioned our transmission type, but we do have a 6-speed automatic transmission. And of course, with your paddle shifters, you can upshift or downshift your gears. If you're in sport mode or in eco mode, you can actually adjust the level of regen. So whatever is best for you, you can choose to do so. Back here, there is a lot of space. So I know I always say the Elantra is such a spacious sedan, such a spacious sedan. More space. These seats are very wide for our 2 main or outer seats. you honestly sink into them a little bit. I love the beige finish. It definitely, of course, makes the cabin feel quite more premium. And then for amenities, we have air vents mounted on the rear, 2 USB-Cs just below. They are backlit, so at nighttime you can actually see where they are located. And then there's a lot of legroom. Seriously, there is so much space in this cabin. You get a good look at what's up above from the panoramic sunroof, provided the cover is open. And our windows aren't too high to the point where you feel like you gotta peer over to see what's going on outside of the car. For the door card itself, it's probably better if you show that one, Adam. We have that silver painted door handle that expands outwards, as well as our power window controls and a bottle holder down at the bottom. By your armrest, that's where we will have that same beige, soft leather finish. And then for your middle seat, if it's not in use, of course, you have 2 cup holders for your rear passengers. A nice touch I wanted to point out is the fact that because our door cards still have so much of that dark gray or almost black material, it doesn't make the white interior feel too stark. Same thing with the backings of the seat. Especially if you have kids that like to kick behind you, this dark material is a lot more forgiving, easier to clean. And I mean, I probably wouldn't get this interior if I had kids, but if I had to, it's work withable for sure. And honestly, the overall feel, the vibe, might be worth it. All right, I'm gonna take the camera from Adam and let's check out what you guys want to know about the vehicle. Let's see what you have to ask. So Emmerich asked if we can show the ambient lighting, and fun fact, this vehicle says it has ambient lighting, but it doesn't. So on Hyundai Canada's website, it says that ambient lighting is included on the hybrid powertrain, but it isn't. So let me hop on over to the driver's seat again, and I will show you guys actually. We can search for it ourselves, but I've checked to see if the lights are actually here, and maybe just the menu doesn't have the option to change the ambient lighting. There are no physical lights within the vehicle for the ambient lighting to begin with. The only lights we have really in the interior are, our overhead lights or our map lights, and then of course what we see on our buttons and that kind of thing. So start up the vehicle, and then we will head on over to setup, vehicle, lights. So this is typically where ambient lighting is found, and there are no ambient lighting options. Another thing we can do to check to see if I'm wrong or right is use the search button here, which allows you to search within the vehicle's head unit. Oh, ambient. Whoa, okay, that should be enough. Yeah, so there's no ambient lighting on this car. So I found somewhere where Hyundai Canada is wrong. You guys are wrong. I pointed this out, I believe, in the last time I shot the hybrid Sonata, and they haven't fixed it yet. So guys, tag Hyundai Canada, let them know that I caught them being wrong. I still love them, but update the website for sure. Let's see. You working on Thanksgiving? It is not Thanksgiving here in Canada. We had our Thanksgiving in October. Reverse camera is surprisingly entertaining in a car wash. It's true. It is very true. Wood is a really nice touch. How much does the price increase because of it? Do we know? I mean, I don't get a breakdown of the build and see what each material adds to the cost, but I do know if you opt for the white interior, there is no additional cost. So you can get the black or the white, and it won't affect the price point of your vehicle. It may affect availability because, of course, we'll always get built more cars with black interiors than, any of our other options, but it will not affect the pricing of the vehicle. Also, I want to ask you guys, what do we think of this exterior color? It is my absolute favorite across the Hyundai lineup. I wish all of their cars came in transmission blue. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. Is Kia an American car? So Kia is not an American car company. Both Kia and Hyundai are Korean car companies. Is it built in America? So there are some Kia vehicles that do get built in the Georgia plant, but it is not an American car company. Best month to buy for deals. So Hyundai actually has some amazing car deals right now. and more specifically Brantford Hyundai, I should say. So the Tucson plug-in hybrid, for example, does have a $1,500 bonus, inventory bonus, and quite a few of their vehicles, actually, depending on trim levels and years, if you can find a 2025, there are quite a few rebates available for the 25s. If you're looking for a Tucson, however, a Sonata, an Elantra, an Ioniq 6, an Ioniq 9, and I think that's it. Sorry. At Brantford Hyundai, we have some fantastic deals. They're also doing a free winter tire package for our Tucsons, whether it's plug-in hybrid, hybrid, or straight gas, and a 1% rate reduction. So all of those makes car models, I guess, I just mentioned qualify for the 1% rate reduction, but the Tucson also qualifies for the free winter tires. So if you guys are looking to get a Hyundai, do it now. And seriously, do it right now because we are getting a snowstorm very shortly. So you should probably do it right now. As this video is live, I will let you guys sign off from the live stream to go buy a car from Brantford Hyundai. Does it have power seats and heated? Yes, it does. So both the driver and passenger front seats are heated as well as powered, plus they're ventilated. So I'll do you one up from that. They're ventilated too. Got asked if it's snowing a lot in Brantford. It's not snowing yet, but we are supposed to be getting a very, very bad snowstorm. So all day today and pretty much all night yesterday, it has been very, very windy. So I think the wind gusts have been up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. And you hear it. It sounds like ghosts, like whoo, while you're inside. My house, I live somewhere that's a little bit more elevated, so I feel like we get a lot more wind. And it's scary. It's really scary. I don't like driving in the wind. How many airbags? 9 airbags in the Sonata. Ex-developer said Waterloo is snowing heavily right now. That means we're not far behind. I believe the snow is expected to start at about 4 p.m. today, which is... I just tried turning on the car screen like a phone, like touching it. Oh my goodness. You guys, it's time to go to bed. I gotta start going to sleep earlier. It's probably getting close to 4 now because we did have to start this video a little bit later. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again tomorrow. I hope anyone who has to drive today, if you're in Ontario or any of the areas that are affected with the snow squall, please drive carefully and please make sure to get winter tires because they do make a difference, a very big difference. All right, take care, you guys. Actually, that brings me to my next topic. I know a lot of people are going to be upset that the Sonata Hybrid does not come with all-wheel drive, and I have to say, unless you live in a very hilly, mountainous area, or, you know, you're really concerned about how quickly can I accelerate, all-wheel drive is not going to make a huge difference. Winter tires are what's really going to make a difference in inclement weather. So this vehicle, it's got good power. As long as you got a good set of snows on there, you can get through it. You can definitely get through it. Whew. And Glenn just said front-wheel drive is ideal for it. Yes, honestly, front-wheel drive is quite honestly the best right now. I mean, all-wheel drive plus winter tires is great too, but front-wheel drive in winters will be better than rear-wheel drive in winters simply because the weight of the engine is over the driving wheels, so you'll hypothetically should get better traction. Of course, I'm talking from a safety perspective. If you guys are talking about a performance and, you know, steering, handling perspective, yes, rear-wheel drive is better, but let's not get into that chat right now. Bye-bye, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.